Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. It's Dr. Zelina here with AcuVida. Happy Tuesday. Thank you all for joining. Thank you. Good afternoon, Cottonwood, Frame Breaker. Thank you guys for joining me. Just gonna wait a little bit to see if anyone else joins. Hey, Audrey. I'm Dr. Zelina with AcuVida, and this is Conversations to Empower, an IG live series dedicated to inspire, uplift, and empower you all. In this edition of Conversations to Empower, this is an opportunity for you all to ask me anything. Ask me anything basically means that this is an open forum for you to express any concerns or ask any questions that you have. I originally, hi everyone that's just joining us. Welcome. Usually I do conversations with another healer or practitioner or another person that I feel adds value to this series. Today it's only me. I was recently interviewed for the world famous What's the Juice podcast by Organic Olivia, and it inspired a lot of listeners to kind of delve within themselves and look at their own healing journeys. Through this podcast episode, if you guys heard the episode, you know that we got very deep and very intimate in the conversations that we talked about, and the topics we shared. So we talked a little bit about autoimmune conditions. We talked about my healing journey through lupus. We talked about how I went through that healing process and what the healing journey was like. We also went through, hey Carmen. We also talked about ancestral trauma. Ancestral trauma is kind of a hot topic right now because this year, 2020, has really hit a lot of, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know how to describe 2020, but it's been a time of change, major transformation on an individual level, as well as for the human collective, as well as for the planet. We're currently going through a major detoxification of Mother Earth, and a lot of us are going through major detoxifications on a physical level, as well as a mental, emotional level. And so we do need to look at where this is all coming from. Yeah, it's been heavy. I agree 100%. 2020 has been a heavy year for a lot of us, myself included. It seems like a lot of us are also being faced with familial trauma, things that have occurred in our family dynamics as children, and then later on as adults. And then when we become parents, a lot of those traumas resurface. And it's because going through your own healing and fighting. Okay. Yeah, that's rough. You are you're going through a lot. I understand, the East LA girl. And I'm here to offer support, to offer guidance, to hold space for anybody that requires or needs some healing. And that can look like a lot of different things for many different people. What we talked about in the podcast was also the ancestral trauma. Getting back to that, it gets stored in our DNA. Sometimes we hold traumas in our own physical bodies that are not even ours. Could have been our parents, could have been our grandparents or great-grandparents, and even further down the line. Because if we're not healing our wounds in the present, they can continue on to the next generation. There are several ways to address those traumas. Things like mind-body medicine, energy medicine, acupuncture, naturopathic doctors, Reiki, for some people is really beneficial. Massages, working with a spiritual advisor, working with a life coach, working with a therapist, working with a chiropractor, working with a meditation guide. There are so many different ways. Hey guys that are just joining. Hey Pokey, hey Kate, hey Organic Brother. It's nice to see you guys. So anyway, I'm just now kind of recapping what we talked about in the podcast episode. The podcast is called What's the Juice by Organic Olivia. It aired back in January, and I seem to have been getting a lot of people reaching out about the podcast, wanting to know more about certain things that we covered in the episode. So I wanted to open up the platform today to answer any questions you guys may have when it comes to healing. You know, I'm not perfect, and I'm no expert. I know a lot of people think that, you know, I live this really clean lifestyle, and for the most part I do. But I'm human just like you guys, and I have my hard days and I have my hard times. I'm going to be turning 40 soon, so I'm kind of going through a little bit of like an inventory process. Obviously 2020 has been a mind shift on a level, like unexpected levels of mind shift, and of yes, I do practice herbal medicine, Daisy. I do practice herbal medicine. Do you have any questions about herbal medicine? Please feel free to type them in, and I'll definitely answer them. So anyway, I don't have it all together either, guys. I'm learning along the way, just like everybody else. I'm just fortunate that I had the chance to go through my major healing transformation. You know, when I woke up, when I had my rebirth, which was back in 2008. And so I've had a lot of progress ever since. And I just want to share what works, what has worked for me, why I feel it's helpful. I want to be able to relate to some of the patients and clients that I work with. And so I just had this calling to share my story. I had this calling to share my story because when I was going through my difficult transition back in 2008, I was inspired by others that were on a healing journey as well. So I'm just trying to give back the same way that I was, you know, given to and supported and held when I needed it the most. You know, there's a new generation of healers out there. We're incorporating so many new modalities, or maybe not so new modalities, but new ways of integrating different healing modalities together that didn't exist before. You know, now we have the technology of modern medicine, of these amazing, very detailed and comprehensive lab panels that we can look at, very different diagnostic methods that weren't available before. Of course, I'm a traditional medicine practitioner, and I will always use traditional ancestral ways, including those diagnostic methods. But it's really nice to be able to have these other modalities available to us that we can integrate together. What I found has worked for me in the past has been to integrate several different things at a time. I'll give you an example of something I've just overcome this month. You guys all know I'm a new mom. My daughter's 2.5. She'll be 3 at the end of the year. And being a new mom, running your own business, and then becoming a single mom throughout the process, it has taken a big toll on my physical well-being. And one of the things I've been battling with and struggling with quite a bit has been back pain, especially lower back pain. All of you moms know how it is when you give birth. And I'm still nursing my daughter too, so there's a lot of upper back situations going on. But so I decided to get really aggressive with my healing for my back pain. I started getting weekly acupuncture, and I started getting weekly massages. And one of the things that was missing was a more of a fitness routine. I've always been a yogi, and I've always done yoga. But that was all I was doing after the quarantine started. I didn't have, swimming. Swimming has been my outlet. A lot of you guys may or may not know I did a triathlon back in March. So I was very fit when the quarantine started. I felt really good, but I didn't keep up with it. So April, May, June, I wasn't really doing a lot of workouts. So flashback to now. Hi, Mickey. Flashback to now. I started adding in some at-home workouts. Very simple, 10 to 15 minutes, nothing major, in addition to my meditation and yoga practice. So in total, I spend about an hour in the morning. I wake up really early before my daughter wakes up to do that. And I've been getting weekly acupuncture and getting the weekly massages. And I've been pain-free for quite some time now. And it's so amazing. It's so amazing. But that's just an example of incorporating different ways to facilitate healing and make it happen faster. Other examples are, women have menstrual health issues. Women that have menstrual health issues, it usually is some kind of a blockage or a growth in the uterus, like a cyst or some type of mass or excess uterine lining that hasn't been exfoliated and expelled. That leads to menstrual cramps. And so I attend to it by using a multifaceted approach. So I'll have a patient come in, I'll give them acupuncture, work on their nutrition, give them an herbal medicine or supplement protocol. And we'll also do manual work. We'll do womb massage. I'll show them how to do womb massage, warmth, baths, oils, topicals. So it's a multifaceted approach when it comes to healing. The same can be said for mental health, emotional health, spiritual health. If you're experiencing like a spiritual awakening, acupuncture is a really nice way to integrate that, as well as using things like talk therapy with a trained psychotherapist. I believe that mental health is something that really needs to be encouraged to heal and address, especially at this time. I know that incidences of depression and abuse and suicide has grown this year. So mental health is something that really needs to be addressed. It's not a luxury. It's a necessity. And right now we have a new generation of healers, like I said. We also have a new generation of psychotherapists. Psychotherapists are now integrating a lot of mind-body techniques as well. And they're integrating spiritual modalities into their practices as well. One therapist I worked with was also a Reiki practitioner. And she worked a lot with essential oils. And so it really resonated with me in my moment when I was looking for that. So using the talk therapy was helpful. And then there were other techniques and modalities that she incorporated that really had to do with addressing the brain on a neuroplasticity level. So these are all just examples of how really incorporating different modalities into your plan is really going to create success for you. It's super important to treat your self-care as a priority. It isn't a luxury. At this point, it's a necessity. There are way too many environmental factors out there that are against us. The toxic air that we're breathing, especially right now, the food supply, the water supply. There's a lot of different factors out there. Exposure to the technology and all of this Wi-Fi and Bluetooth technology, all of the wireless technology, it radiates a frequency that is not tuned to our internal frequency, so it causes dysfunction. So there's a lot of things out there that are kind of attacking us, even, they're invisible attackers. So really being able to carve out some time, carve out some space in your budget for having a self-care routine, having a self-care plan. If you don't know where to start, just start somewhere with one thing. You can consult with someone. Hi guys, thanks for joining. You can consult with someone to see, maybe they can guide you in what it is that you need. Once you lay out like what you're working on, what your goals are, what's kind of coming up for you at this time. If you work with someone like, let's say me, I can help guide you to find a really nice treatment plan that's going to work for you. Like if you're going through some mental emotional stuff, we can look at, obviously acupuncture is definitely helpful, and then incorporating a psychotherapist or some other type of therapist. If you have menstrual irregularities, I can definitely work with you, and then I can incorporate or teach you how to incorporate some self-care techniques at home, some DIY stuff. If we're working virtual, I incorporate a lot of that as well. A lot of lifestyle practices, nutrition, herbal medicine. So I'm just sharing all of this because it's important to understand that healing at this point, in this point in time, is a multifaceted approach in order to get the best outcomes. And again, I just wanted to open up the forum to see if anybody had any questions about anything I'm talking about at this time, or anything that is coming up for you. Please feel free to type them into the comments, and I will address them. So I don't know if the East LA girl is still here, but she mentioned that she's going through her own healing and fighting infertility. And, thank you for sharing that. Infertility is definitely something that is on the rise. And again, this goes back to the environmental factors in a lot of our personal care products, meaning like our lotions, our hair products, shampoo, conditioner, face lotion, things like that. They are filled with things that are called endocrine disruptors. Endocrine disruptors are tiny little chemicals that act like hormones when they're in the body. And so when we have these chemicals that act like hormones in our bodies, they mess up. They mess up our normal hormonal cascade, and that triggers and can be a cause of fertility imbalances. Can it be reversed? Possibly, yes. I am of the belief that anything is possible. I'm living proof of that. Utilizing a combination of acupuncture, herbs, nutrition, and lifestyle practices is probably going to be the best thing if that's something you want to address. Feel free to reach out to me privately if you have any more questions, or you can continue to ask questions here in this forum. Daisy Rex asked if I practice herbal medicine as well. I do. Many people may not know this, but any licensed acupuncturist is also a master herbalist. In order to become a licensed acupuncturist, you have to be a practitioner of traditional Chinese medicine. Practitioners of traditional Chinese medicine do not just focus on acupuncture. They also have an arsenal of herbs at their disposal. We take about 9 or 10 classes on herbs alone, single herbs as well as classical formulas. So the classical formulas and the single herbs have been in use for thousands and thousands of years because they work. And I don't know if you guys know this, but also a lot of the medications that are formulated, they are usually compounded from a natural herbal plant extract or some form of compound that comes from a plant. It is true that just about any ailment you have, there's an herbal cure for it, or an herbal ally, a plant ally for it. I find that working with herbal medicine is vital to the success of working with my patients and with any clients I work with. I always make it a multifaceted approach, like I said. I make it a point to empower patients and clients to also be a part of the healing and recovery process, because this is your healing journey. I'm just here to hold space, guide, and support in the things that that you're not an expert in, or that you don't know about. Like, my expertise is herbal medicine, acupuncture, autoimmune conditions, women's health, spirituality, mental, emotional health. And so I can provide resources, tools, guides, things like that. But it's so important that the patient and the client is always an active participant in their recovery process. But yes, herbal medicine is super big, super important, and super vital in all the work that I do. Do you guys have any more questions about anything I've shared today, or anything I've shared in the past, whether through my Instagram posts or the podcast episode? Wanted to just open it up again if you guys have any questions, because I don't want to keep just rambling, even though I'm sure this information is useful for you guys. I just want to really really encourage you all to use this time. If you guys are home and you're working from home, or you're not working, you're laid off, you're welcome. I am priceless. It's my pleasure. Thank you for joining me here. Thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to me. That's amazing. If you guys are home, now is the time to get healthy and focus on your healing and your wellness, because there's never been a time where there's so much attacking us from all these different levels. I know that the media is portraying a lot of fear-based information out there, which I don't subscribe to. I'm not a fan of. I feel like I refuse to be a victim of circumstance. I feel that we each have the power to create and write our own life and our own story. So, if you guys have any questions, or you need more resources, please feel free to send me a DM. Put it in the comment. I highly recommend meditation. Meditation will really get your mindset going to be in a more optimistic place that isn't fear-based. Remember, guys, fear shuts down the immune system, and it shuts down your healing process, the natural healing processes of your body. So obviously fear is an emotion that is never going to go away. We're always going to feel fear. It's a healthy emotion, but when we have it in every day in heightened levels, it can be detrimental to our health. And so, yes, there's a lot of terrible things happening. A lot of these things we can't really do too much about, but there are things that we can control. There are a lot of things you can control. And having your focus on what you can control is key to find peace and also to work towards a healing process for you. So that being said, meditation is a wonderful tool because it's accessible. You can do it anytime, anywhere. Right now in this digital information age, ignorance is a choice. So you can find a meditation on YouTube that works for you. I love the ones from Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's someone that I'm following really heavily right now. I read his book and it's amazing. If you guys are ready to create your own life, create your own story, be the writers of your own story, and you don't want to feel like a victim of all of these circumstances that are going on around us, you would love his book and you would love his talks. There's so much information on Dr. Joe Dispenza out there. Let me just look at what's being typed into the comments really quick. One Woman Party, Pokey. Hey girl, I have that same challenge, really working my way to commit to that early morning routine where I stretch, yoga, etc. Thank you for this info and encouragement. It's such a game changer, Pokey, when you can do this every day and be disciplined enough to love yourself and make time for yourself. I just can't even tell you guys. You can wake up happy and feel good every day. It's totally possible no matter what is going on around you. You can do it. I love hearing stuff like that. Oops, my phone just fell. Okay, what else do we got? Hey, Dr. Cat. I am priceless. I want to better understand premature ovarian failure with an underlying, sounds like autoimmune condition. Okay, yes. So premature ovarian failure is a hormonal issue for sure. Autoimmune conditions are very much tied to hormone imbalances. Acupuncture works amazing for that. So I haven't studied premature ovarian failure too much specifically, but it's very much also like PCOS and infertility. And in traditional Chinese medicine, we look at it as a blood deficiency. We look at it as too much yang and not enough yin. So we work on balancing the yin and the yang and tonifying the blood, tonifying the qi, which is our energy and life force. That can be done utilizing acupuncture, herbal medicine, lifestyle practices. Get rid of anything toxic in your house. Get rid of endocrine disruptors. If you're still using conventional skincare products and conventional personal care products, toss them out. Throw them in the trash, donate them, whatever feels good for you, and replace them with nice, organic, natural, plant-based products. And this includes your cleaning products, this includes your laundry detergent, This includes anything that's in your house. Those plug-in things that make the house smell really good, very toxic. Get rid of that. Turn on some incense instead. Essential oil diffusers is also a better option. The water that you're drinking, get a really nice clean filter. I like Berkey because it's affordable and it's accessible. Berkey. That's the best water filter I can recommend right now. It's the one I personally use. Get rid of fluoride toothpaste. I don't use fluoride. What else? Get a shower filter. I got a shower filter recently. It's awesome. My hair, look how good my hair looks. Let's see, what else? If you have more specific questions, I am priceless. Please feel free to send me a DM, or you can add more questions onto here. Hey everybody, hey guys, thanks for joining. Yes, no fragrance. Thank you for bringing that up, Tapin with Marilyn. Let me tell you guys about fragrance. Fragrance is an ingredient that's in a lot of products out there, but fragrance can mean anything. There's a special clause, a special law that was made way back when, like in the 20s, that for the perfume industry, when people were making perfumes, companies were making perfumes, nobody wanted to know. They wanted to keep the recipe a secret, so they didn't want people to know what was in their recipe. So they made this law that if you titled something fragrance, it could encompass all of your recipe's ingredients. And so now they're protected by this clause, all these companies that are making things with fragrance. Yes, maybe initially it was an innocent thing, but now it's become that all the companies can just put fragrance in their product label, in their ingredient label, and it can be anything. There have been tests done where independent labs have tested exactly what's in a product that contained fragrance, the name fragrance, and they found poisonous, toxic substances like arson. So fragrance is a blanket statement that really could be anything. So if you see fragrance on your ingredient list, throw it out. Not good. I stopped using pads and tampons and switched to organic. Yes! Awesome. I did too. I'm stuck on finding a natural deodorant that works well because, owie, I need it. Oh yeah. The forever elusive deodorant search. I use a natural crystal-based one. I find that it doesn't completely work when it's super hot. But at this point, I'm like, oh well, I'm going to smell a little bit. That's okay. I'd rather smell a little bit than develop breast cancer later on in life. By the way, women, moms, if you are nursing or if you have a baby and you're able to nurse, nursing really decreases your chances of breast cancer and so many other diseases. Please breastfeed if you can. Everything starts off as an innocent thing, then the greed comes in and takes over. Why are we like this? You're absolutely right. And that's a whole socio-political topic that I don't want to get into. That's not my area of expertise. But yes, I think, again, focusing on the things you can control, focusing on what you're eating, what you're putting on your body, what you're drinking, kind of the air you're breathing, stay in your house. Unfortunately, if you live in California, Oregon, or Washington, or any of these other Western states, please stay indoors. Have an air purifier in your house because those are really helpful. I have one in every room. Amazon has some decently priced ones. You can look on Dr. Mercola. By the way, guys, Dr. Mercola, Mercola.com is the best health resource out there. It's factual, but non-biased, non-political. It's not tied to any association. It's just straight up facts. So if you guys are looking for a health resource, go to Mercola.com. If you guys have any other questions, and I don't even know the guy, by the way. I just love his stuff. Because like I said, he just focuses on facts. Everything is always cited properly, so he has all of his references there. If you have any concerns about where he's getting his information from, it's all properly referenced. What else? Yeah, he's the best. I know. Okay, guys. Well, this was a super informative IG Live, I hope. Shared a lot. We talked about ancestral trauma. We talked about incorporating and integrating several modalities when you're on a healing journey. We talked about endocrine disruptors for the ladies. Really, that's for anyone. People that are at risk for cancer, get rid of endocrine disruptors. We talked about some women's health issues. We talked about some mental emotional health issues. We talked about some autoimmune conditions. We talked about my healing journey. I know you missed it, Denise. It's okay. I'm going to hopefully upload this on IGTV. Actually, let me end now so that I'm within the limits, so that I can upload it to IGTV and you guys can watch it later. Unless anybody has any other questions, I'm going to be ending now. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and I apologize for the noise. They're repairing in my house today. So anyway, thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to listen to me. I'm really honored that you guys are here with me. Please know again that we are all healing right now. Please be kind and gentle with yourself first and foremost, but please be kind and gentle with each other as well. Remember to just send love. We are all going through our own healing journey. Even that person that gets you really, 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 really mad, they're going through their own shit too. So just send love. Send love. I send you guys all love. Thank you.